this is something I'm excited about doing, especially with you, because you can talk a lot. And I can just throw in the odd joke, which is, could work well.
100% I'll make time for this whenever you want. I just want to come by and talk about...
Give the kids a day of school, haven't you?
No, I have not given any. No, just to be very clear.
Teacher training day.
It's a teacher training day.
It's really. I never got told I was not good enough for town, and also didn't get to live many nights.
People often put 2 and 2 together and get 12, which is not brilliant, is it, as a teacher?
No, it's patently wrong. And they were all looking at me when I was watching it for the first time, and I was like, oh, hello.
And when you're with my kids and stuff, they're like, Dad, who's this? I'm like, shut up. No idea who it is, but...
Don't bring your boots to the games.
No, but...
Fraizer does.
Yeah, I do, just in case.
Series, not season, for goodness sake, season.
I feel like I'm back at school. This is awful.
They'll probably ring you. Tell you to come back. Right. If you're not too busy on TV, I'll get you into
Like
Christmas.
that?
Yeah.
Like,
They were having it. Then they go off for a couple of months and they come back to pick up a brown envelope, and we've all been there when we've sort of opened that GCSE.
I said, before I talk about money.
no.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Talk of the Town, the first episode of our brand new podcast presented by SBK, which is for 18 plus. Please gamble responsibly. I'm pleased to be joined by my brand new co-host, Fraizer Campbell. Fraizer, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. It's interesting pairing me and you.
Yeah, well, it's something we talked about
Yeah.
a few years ago, wasn't it?
Uh-huh.
But, we're finally here. Finally get to sit down and talk rubbish.
Newsroom and lower houses together. Usually it's breaking and entering when we pair up. Podcast is all right as well. How have you been, mate? It's obviously been a few years since you stopped playing for the club and stopped playing.
Yeah. Still play a bit out again. Occasionally.
How's life been with you?
No, it's good. I've just been, the first when I stopped playing, just catching up with family, friends, all the things that you missed out on throughout the 18 years of playing football. Getting a chance to catch up on them, spending more time with my kids, being around, being present for all the school plays. Great to watch every single one of them. And just being more present around my friends and family. And it's been real nice.
That's good to hear. It's obviously your career took you here, there, and everywhere across the country and abroad when you were younger as well. Being back settled locally and being back home, I know you're back here as often as you can at the ACU as well. It must be nice for you to be back here.
Yeah, it really is nice. It's a full circle kind of thing. Started playing my football here and it ended here. So now my family's, my wife's family's, my family's still based in Huddersfield. So it's nice to be around everyone. I see random people in the street that I've not seen for 15 years. It's still nice. But yeah, it's nice to be back home and see some familiar faces.
What do you do with your day then? What is the life of a retired professional footballer? How do you spend your time? Is it paddle, gym, sauna?
Well, yeah, I go through phases. So it's like, I first finished. I didn't know I was finishing, so I was going to the gym every day. So that was my main thing each day, gym, and then start going gym a little bit less, maybe 4 days, then 3 days, then 2 days. 1 day.
You're getting towards my gym territory now.
I'm a member of 3 gyms and I've not been to the gym for about 4 months. So, but yeah, and my kids are super busy, so in the evenings I'm just taking them here, there and everywhere. I do go to the gym. I played paddle off and on, but there's a new place open in Huddersfield now, so if anyone's listening wants a game, hit me up. But yeah, I'm just going and doing bits and pieces here, there and everywhere. And I really I'm enjoying that. There's no, it's no set in stone every week that I've got to be able to do this and that. I just take it as I want. If I want to go, I went to the Super Bowl last year or the year before.
Show off.
Just randomly. I can just do random things like that, which is exciting because you never know what. Today we're here.
Yeah.
It's just a Monday, just sat at the stadium. Can have a kick around after. Who knows what's going to happen?
It's been nice as well because we've had you do some community stuff for us recently as well. Obviously, this podcast can be a regular thing that me and you do together with different sort of guests coming up. That variety must be, because the life of a footballer and the schedule is so similar and so many days are regimented. That variety must be a new thing for you.
It's very free, is the word I like to use. Yeah, I like a bit of variety. And I'm down to do most things that I try. So when I finished, everyone's like, are you going to go into coaching? Are you going to play golf? All the stereotypical things. But I've not said yes or no to anything. I've just been, see what happens. Like doing a bit of media stuff, the media stuff up and down the country, different companies. Doing a bit of coaching now with the youth team, the under 18s, and I'm watching my kids play football here, there, and everywhere around the country. So it's just a variation of loads of things. And like I said, we talked about doing a podcast years ago, didn't we? And then here we are. So this is something I'm excited about doing, especially with you, because you can talk a lot. And I can just throw in the odd joke, which is, could work well.
People get sick of my voice, so the least of me talking, the better. We've got Matthew Burton on today as our very first guest from Educating Yorkshire. I know you've been watching some episodes and getting familiar with it.
Been doing the homework. Trying to impress the teacher.
It's an exciting thing, this, isn't it? Because what we want to do is we don't want to just speak to the sort of people we always speak to as a football club. We want to open it up and have different sort of conversations with different sort of people.
Yeah, well, that's the power of football. You get people in that you wouldn't necessarily associate with a football club, but he's very successful in what he's doing. He's on the TV at the minute, and tackling some of the problems that we're all seeing. Like, we've all got kids in schools, and seeing how he navigates them, and he's a real good example of a normal school in Yorkshire, and he's become really popular for being such a good teacher. So it's nice to sit and chat with him, pick his brains.
Learn about him being a town fan as well, because he's a genuine town fan. He comes here and he was starstruck to meet you and all those sorts.
Yeah, a bit weird, isn't it? But his family has all been town fans, but I don't know, because he was over he's from Wakefield, and he teaches at school at Dewsbury. You never know where, because it's right in the middle of Bradford, Leeds, Huddersfield. It could manage it could be a fan of anyone, but. Yeah,
he's made there's only one choice there, and he's made the right one.
Well, yeah, exactly. He's a true terrier. But now we know that. Now I can watch it with a different view of it. I already had a good.
You've gone up in our estimation.
Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. Great guy.
Yeah. Here is our conversation with Matthew Burton from Educating Yorkshire. Welcome to our very first Talk of the Town guest, Matthew Burton. Me and Fraizer are delighted to have you. We wanted to start, obviously, with your life as a town fan, explaining why you're here, and our first guest, first of all. Just tell us about your experience and time with Huddersfield Town.
I mean, I suppose the question, why am I here? I think all town fans have asked themselves that at one time or another. My dad, I've just always been a town fan. My dad was a town fan, and I think he got sort of dragged into it by my uncle, and then, it's like you get bought the kit when you're sort of 5 years old and all the rest of it, and then history's repeated itself with my kids as well. So whether it's sort of that Autoglass Trophy defeat to Swansea in the 90s, or I remember my dad charging across a Greek hotel when we found out we beat Bristol Rovers to go from what was it, League 1 to Championship, Cardiff in 2004 or whatever it was. We've always been there for those big moments, and it just sort of, it's one of those constants in your life, isn't it? It's and it belies generations. It just keeps going and going and going, and it's great. It's just that relationship with a club that's not ever going to go anywhere. It just it's just there, and sometimes joyful, sometimes less so, but it's going to punctuate your weekends and make you feel a particular emotion either way, isn't it?
One of the things that's nice for us is sometimes when people fall into the public eye or whatever, suddenly club allegiances fall out here and there, but you are a genuine fan. When we contacted you about wanting to do this, it wasn't let me see in the diary. It was like, 100% I'll make time for this whenever you want. I just want to come by and talk about...
He's given the kids a day of school, haven't you?
I have not. Just to be very clear.
Teacher training day.
It's a teacher training day.
It's really.
And, well, yeah, absolutely. I've had a season ticket for years and years and years and years and years, and I think ever since we've been in this, since we've been in this stadium and before, at Leeds Road. So yeah, it just it's an honour to be here. It's lovely to be here. It's just one of those things, isn't it? That you've got your club, and it's one of those rites of passage in your life. So going to your first football match, and I came with my dad, and then bringing my little lad Theo to watch, and I buzzing. I remember being here. There's particular moments that stick in your memory, but just completely, I suppose, banal moments for some people. I don't know if anybody remembers that game that was just absolutely ridiculous fog. I think we won 1-0.
Danny Ward scored.
Yeah, that
or
one,
maybe didn't score.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm led to believe he did. But it was just, there's things like that. I remember one particular weekend being absolutely ruined because we I think we drew 1-1 with Leyton Orient away, and I couldn't put my finger on why I was so annoyed all weekend, but it's because we drew 1-0 with Leyton Orient, and I saw it as a missed opportunity. And it just, I'm a proper town fan, and just turned into a little lad around football.
Did you grow up a town fan at all?
No, not really. From the moment they told me I wasn't good enough to play in the academy, I kind of
Really?
lost the league. Yeah, so when I was 10, I was playing in the Gel Pack League, it was called back then, and apparently I wasn't good enough, so I went to Man United.
Yeah, I never got told I was not good enough for town, and also didn't get to go to Man United.
Yeah, so it worked out in the end.
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm back here now.
Yeah, you like the club now?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, obviously.
We decided you were good enough eventually.
Yeah, it took me time. I wanted me to find myself first before, but no, yeah, it's part of football, isn't it?
It's good you've not held a grudge either as well.
No, it's my town. It's my hometown. I remember coming down here when before the stadium was built. Cause my gran used to live up in Dalton, just up there. Coming to the fairground at Christmas. Don't know if it was.
No, well, based in Wakefield. So
Oh, right, so further away. So yeah, I used to have a travelling fairground down here every Christmas time. So I remember playing on that. Do you know what I mean? And then next minute, I'm playing on the pitch. It's just yeah. When you're from the area and you get to play, you love football and you get to play down at the stadium and you're seeing I'm looking in the crowd and seeing my old next door neighbours and seeing some of my teachers from school, and it just blows your mind.
I always wondered that, like as an actual pro when you're playing, can you pick people out in the crowd?
Randomly, so like someone might be saying, "Oh, I was waving at you, I was shouting, yeah," and you looked like you was looking at me, and I was like, "Well, I didn't see you at all." But then you could be running to get a ball for a throw-in or whatever, and you just look up and you catch eyes, and you're like, "Hi, Steve, I was good." Steve, do you know what I mean? Just random little moments. But I seem to always find my dad because he had a distinctive whistle, so I used to whistle like a dog or something.
Yeah.
And I could just pick out an area where he was, and I always used to seem to find him. But 9 times out of 10, there's that many people, you just lose faces in the crowd.
How did it feel back for you, sort of coming back?
It was good.
That long, and did it ever get close before?
Everyone always says this to me because every transfer window, my name was linked to me.
Oh, I remember it, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Coming to town, it was like people coming up to me, "Are you coming back to town?" I was like, "No." It's not even like no one spoke to anyone. It's just people often put 2 and 2 together and get 12, which is not great, is it, as a teacher?
No, that's it's patently wrong.
But yeah, it was like the only time it was close is when I came, but 6 months before that, I knew I was coming, but it just took forever to get done, which it often does in football. But yeah, the years before that was just people just making stuff up.
Right.
Interesting. We wanted to obviously touch on Educating Yorkshire as well. It'd been rude not to while you were here. 2 really incredibly, hugely well-liked and popular series. How did that all come around? How was that period of your life going from just being a teacher to being somebody who people notice in H-Town and want to have a selfie with and say hello to?
I mean, I think any teacher will tell you that you nip down to, like, I don't know, supermarket or go out shopping or something like that. 9 times out of 10, as long as if you live within a sort of 20-minute radius of the school that you work in, you're going to bump into somebody or see somebody or whatever. So it doesn't change that all that much. It's a little bit surreal, of course, but.
So like being a local celebrity anyway, being a teacher then?
There's a bit of that because if you live within close enough to your school. Now, for example, like if we go shopping at White Rose, I know it's close to Leeds, but if we go to shopping at White Rose, we'll you'll hear, because my wife works at Thornhill as well, you will hear "I miss" or "I sir" from somewhere. And I've got colleagues as well who've ended up going to the other side of the world and they're sort of around a swimming pool and then they just hear from across the swimming pool like "I miss." Oh my God. So people really, really love it. I think of course when people are watching it on a Sunday night it takes it to another level, but people are really kind and just want to sometimes have a chat about, sometimes it's teachers who just want to talk about the job, which is lovely. But then everybody's been to school. It's one of those unifying experiences, isn't it? So everybody feels as if they've got their own experience, and hearing those from people is lovely. And then obviously if it's here, it's H-Town, we're talking about, are we going to win? What's going to go well? We're going to get promoted this season, that sort of thing. So it's always on positive turf when it's down in H-Town or somewhere like that.
You've always been quite open about the fact that you supported the club even with the public facing stuff. Did you have anything to do with the fact that we're name checked in the introduction?
It was a nice surprise, and they were all looking at me when I was watching it for the first time, and I was like, "Oh, I like that." I mean, it talks about the rise and fall, doesn't it? So there's there's light and shade there, but no, I've never. I mean, it's something I'm proud of. It's one of those things. Every other Saturday, it's coming down here and just being around family, but then unifying it around football. It's something it's a massive part of my life.
What's it like, Fraizer? Obviously, you've had this as a professional player as well. People recognising you, going from you're still a normal bloke, but being somebody who people feel like they know, that people feel like they know and can approach and have a relationship with. What's that like?
It's a bit. You get used to it a little bit. I think for me, being under the spotlight as such from early years, from being at Man United from 10. They've got the cameras in front of you. There's always people around at the training ground watching the games and stuff like that. So I think it just builds up over time. So that when you get to the Premier League or the Championship or first team football, it becomes the norm. But what I will say is, like, so now when I came back to Huddersfield, it was really strange for me because obviously I grew up here. I knew a lot of people from here, but I might not have seen them for 15 years. So then people coming up to me and talking to me like they know me, which they normally do. And in my mind, I'm having this warfare thinking, do I actually know this person? Or is he just a football fan? And when you're with me, with my kids and stuff, they're like, Dad, who's this? And I'm like, sure. I have no idea who it is. But yeah, so you just get used to it, I suppose. And sometimes it's good. And sometimes it's a bit of a nuisance, isn't it, when you're trying to sit down, have a meal with your family or whatever, or you're tired or whatever, and people just want to chew your ear off. But it's part of the job, innit? It's part of.
Here's one for both of you then. Where's the most random place that you've been approached or recognised?
I was in a little island in Thailand, and some guy came to me, oh, Campbell, are you the footballer for Man United? I was like, I played 3 games for Man United 15 years ago. How the hell have you remembered my face from? And it's not like he had my name on a piece of, he just saw me and just thought, that just blew my mind. Like the other side of the world, on a tiny remote island, and some guy knows my name.
What about you?
Well, it's sort of the last time the series was on, we took a school trip to New York quite soon after that.
And then
Spending that TV.
Did the TV pay well?
It was a school trip. And then across Times Square, we just heard this, because I was there with a colleague, we just heard our names getting shouted. And you're like, no, it can't be. And it was. There were people, obviously, like, I think were Brits abroad, who just noticed us and recognised us and stuff. So it's all a bit surreal.
How's it affected your day-to-day then? Because you're still a teacher, you're head teacher now. That's a big change between the first and second series. Is your day-to-day still the same then? You're still going in, doing your job, but
Absolutely.
sometimes you're on telly?
Well, we're on telly on a Sunday night, that's it. But the filming period is sort of almost a year ago now, so that's long gone. And it's not like the talk of the staff room or the talk of the corridors or anything like that. I think there's so much out there now, so much content for people to consume and so much to watch and all the rest of it, that actually it's not as big a deal as perhaps it was last time, and therefore it isn't as much of a chat on the corridors. It's interesting because a lot of it now gets clipped down into, like, I mean, I'm TikTok, I've got literally nothing on there, but a lot of it gets clipped down and people make these really dramatic videos that are clips from the actual episodes, which is quite interesting. But the day-to-day is not affected at all, and that's one of the main things about doing it. The really important part of doing this was it can't disrupt what we do as a school. It can't disrupt the students' opportunities to get the best education that we can provide, and that quality that we provide to them day in, day out, lesson in, lesson out, cannot be compromised at all because of this happening. And it's not, it's Sunday evening, 8 till 9, and then go to bed, getting on Monday morning, and then we crack on.
Am I right in thinking it's just cameras set up around the school, not someone walking around with a camera?
No, it's this, I think there's an 8-week filming period where there's 64 cameras on the walls.
Yeah.
They were pretty big, so you could see where they were, but they can only film, I think, on 2 at any one time. Right. And that's an 8-week period, so you don't know exactly what's been filmed and when.
So it's all authentic.
Yeah, cracky, yeah, goodness me. And people ask about, like, what's it like with people sort of second-guessing what they'll do and all the rest of it, but genuinely, schools are far, far, far too busy to be bothering with any of that. Yeah. And you'll see from the bags under my eyes, it's in that second half term, it's November and December, it's cold, it's dark, it's all those times. So, I don't always look my best, but you just do. You turn up, you do the business, and you go home, and then you don't see it for a few months. You don't see anything for a few months, and then they come back and show you the episodes, and it's amazing what they do.
That's cool. Yeah. My family's actually from Batley,
Dewsbury.
And I was born in Staincliffe Hospital.
Well,
so I know the area quite well. So it's interesting for me to watch it and see some of the kids from the area.
Yeah.
How they behave, because I know what my cousins were getting up to and stuff. So
they're brilliant.
My hands full.
And one of the reasons we went into it genuinely is because schools are really busy, and there's never an era that schools haven't been busy and teachers have not been busy and all the rest of it. But actually, there's so many stories out about young people negative stories, and what we see day in, day out are kids who are so kind and warm and funny and compassionate and so ambitious, and they're so sort of visionary about what they want from their futures. And actually, I think this generation more than any other are really emotionally vulnerable and know their own feelings more than any other generation that have gone before. And we really wanted to give young people the opportunity to sort of, in a sense, take that narrative back a little bit, so that people are talking about the brilliant kids at school, and they've got lots and lots and lots of support around them. Of course, students who are featured, you wouldn't expect them to just do it and then there's no support. There's loads of support from the production company, from us as a school, and that's absolutely right. But they just come in and they hit the ground running on the Monday morning after the episodes on Sunday, and kids are kids, and they're just fantastic. Really proud of them.
I agree, because there's a lot. It's easy to say, "Oh, that kid's just bad," but for me, the schooling system is just. I think you should be able to find a way to help these kids, because I don't think anyone's truly. Well, some kids might be truly bad, but I mean, I think they just need to find their thing that they're good at. If you know what I mean.
Every interaction is an intervention, and whether you're holding a door for somebody or whether you're saying good morning to somebody, that could be the first door somebody's opened for you since the weekend started. That could be the first good morning that child's had. Simply asking them, "Have you had some breakfast?" Or, we talk about be nice, work hard all the time. There are values, there are rules, there are expectations. It's root and branch through the entire school. And sometimes being nice is the opposite. Sometimes being nice is about having an honest conversation and saying, right, it's not good enough. It never will be good enough. You're not meeting your potential. So let's have a conversation about where we need to go. But I completely agree that young people are so impressive. And sometimes you need to find that, and quite often you need to find that, that thing that unlocks that potential. And that's what teachers and professionals in schools are all about.
Yeah.
It's interesting to hear you talk about that, because when it intersects with your life as a town fan, when you see our younger players getting involved, the academy lads, do you have a different approach or relationship to how they are? Do you see them differently as, this is just a young kid from the academy stepping through? Have you almost got that duty of care in your mind of going, I hope he does well, I really want him to exceed because he's, succeed because he's a young lad trying to make steps in the game?
I think any town fan, any football fan, you want, in an ideal world, you'd have 11 sort of lads coming through from the academy, wouldn't you? And it just, and there's a certain type of sort of supporter relationship, isn't there, with a homegrown player, and that's no different for me. I think, as a teacher, it's difficult because as a football fan and a teacher, the football fan in me is completely rational. So, I'm sitting next to Fraizer Campbell and I'm falling apart inside. But and it's the same. Like with, I have to remind myself that I'm not. I'm probably past the point of getting a professional deal at Huddersfield Town.
Don't bring your boots to the games anymore.
No, but
Fraizer does.
Yeah, I do, just in case.
But it's I've got mates who've got kids at the academy, and I've heard nothing but brilliant stuff about how young people are treated and the coaching that goes on, and I was really, really, really pleased about that, to hear that. And the lad who's up there, Will, is an absolutely exceptional footballer. I've told him that 100% he's a town captain in the future, and I'm looking forward to seeing him do that. But it's I've heard brilliant things about it, and I think there's you do as a football fan, you feel that connection to your club's academy, don't you, and the people coming through.
What were you like at school?
Good student, yeah.
I know what you're like now. So.
I mean, I was never naughty, but I was on a wind up. Not too disruptive, I don't think. I have to get my teachers and ask them.
You had a guy in this season who was playing professional rugby at the same time as being at school.
Series, not season. Goodness me, season. Sorry.
I feel like I'm back at school. This is awful.
The first programme I watched that I talked about in seasons was, do you remember 24?
Yes.
Yeah, because it was American, and last time I checked we were in Huddersfield, so it's series.
Sorry,
that's all I'll say.
Sorry, sir.
Ask it, Stag.
Yeah. This series. This he's actually thrown me off here.
We're going to say series. Not
Yeah,
season.
this series you've had a lad playing professional rugby, and no, it's all right. You're doing your job. I'm not doing mine. And he's got to balance school and being a professional at the same time. This is something you'll have been through as well. Just talk about how you do that, because obviously his aspirations aren't going to be purely academic right now, and it doesn't sound like yours ever were.
It really does.
How do you go about making sure they get some out of school, but also get some out of what they want to do in life?
I mean, we've got an obligation to make sure that Scott fulfills his potential in school. He's got wonderful potential in school, but that part of us being nice, part of us, our sort of offer to him and his family is making sure that we support him through his journey and allow him to meet his potential. So that, you know, if things come up, for example, with a young person who's got the chance to do professional sport, then we as a school need to meet with parents and have a conversation about what's going to happen and where you're going to go and all the rest of it, get the paperwork in place. But we always support that, of course. And I think, you know, when professional clubs take young people away, they'll have tutors on and teachers and stuff available and all the rest of it. But a massive part of that, though, away from all the sort of mechanics of it, is taking an interest in it and talking to him about it, because it's a huge part of his life and it's a massive priority for him. So having a chat with Scott about how rugby went at the weekend. I mean, I could tell how rugby went at the weekend the other day because he came in limping, and I was like, "You all right?" No. And but he, you know, had a smile on his face and stuff. But it's about taking an interest, having the conversation, finding out how things are going, and that relationship between the club, or in his case, the country as well, and or the national team and the school's important, because it is almost I call it a triangle of trust, where you've got home, school and student have to be pulling in the right direction for things to be successful. But there's an additional sort of aspect to that, in that you've got this professional organisation, this professional club or this national team who need to know, and they're really keen as sports clubs to be aware of how things are going in school, because they want young people to get their education and make sure they've got the qualifications, and they take an active interest in that as well.
It's interesting. What was it like for you?
Exactly the same. You know, like you said, you've got to be on all and go in the same direction, because, you know, you can't put all your eggs in one basket, because if the football or rugby in that case doesn't work out, you need something to fall back on. So I remember the guy at Man United used to speak to my head teacher all the time. If I was late for anything, if I was talking when I shouldn't have been talking, I didn't do my homework, they knew about everything. So it was a way of keeping not only my standards up at football, but I had to keep my standards up at school, which, you know, like I said, they were in contact, and it worked perfectly. But then if I needed to have a day off because I had a tournament somewhere, the school were great with that. Or if I needed to catch up on extra work, then the school would be able to send it when I was away with football. And it was a nice balance of keeping me in check.
And it matters, doesn't it, that? Because ultimately what schools want is the very, very best for every child who goes there. And when you've got this wonderful opportunity like you will have had, then every teacher's rooting for you, everybody in the staff room's rooting for you, every other child's rooting for you, and they just want to make it a success. And then it's great to see that when it comes to fruition.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Welcome to our very first SBK Career Moment Bet Builder. We're going to start with you, Fraizer, for this. This is our brand new feature in the middle, presented by SBK. I'm going to ask you 3 moments from your career that stand out. That'll form a little bit of a bet builder, and then
I've only got 2.
We've seen them all as well. But the first one would be a standout goal from your career, please.
Sunderland against Norwich.
Talk us through the goal if people haven't seen it. Put your best commentary on. Paint me a picture.
Well, the ball's played in from the left wing. It wasn't a great pass, but I've took a touch. It's bounced up a little bit, as I wanted it to, obviously. And I've struck, like a paintbrush, up and down. It was perfect motion, connected with the ball, top corner. And I think that was 2012, and I think the keeper's still diving now.
What goes through your head when you score a goal like that? Are you going mental, or you like, I can't believe it? Or,
The thing about that goal is, as well, I'd just been injured for 2 years. So,
is this after your knee?
Yeah, so I came back, I think the week before or 2 weeks before, came on at half time, scored in the cup, and then I started that game on this next game, whenever that was, Saturday, and then I scored that. So then it was just pure elation, really. It was all times on my own in the gym, like bending my knees, like up and down. It come, and I was back where I wanted to be, and it was like a weight had been lifted off my shoulder. It was more than just a goal. and it was a screamer. It was. I think I'd ever reacted more if I'd have been playing regularly. Do you know what I mean? But because I'd been off, so I was just like, what a goal that was.
Producer Ollie, can you put a link to the goal in the show notes, please, for people watching on YouTube?
Yeah, if you're struggling to find it, it's probably top 10 goals of the decade.
I think it actually comes up on like Premier League. Yeah,
it didn't win goal of the month because if you remember, like Peter Crouch scored an unbelievable, like he chested it down and volleyed it.
Oh, is that the one against Man City away?
I can't remember. I think was he at Stoke? No, he was at Stoke at the time.
Was it I know it's for Stoke.
And I think what's his name? Charlie Adams. I think he scored a rocket from somewhere. So
over halfway against Chelsea.
Yeah, so there was in that month there was absolute worldies. So
we're not talking about them, so don't mind. While it's slightly off script, but while we've got you and we're talking about your goals, it'd be rude not to, while we've got town badges around us, to not discuss the scissor kick against Forest here.
I don't remember it. Have you got the clip?
Just talk us through that, because that wasn't a bad finish.
Yeah, it was. I think was it Toffs that crossed it in?
Yeah, I think so, from the left.
It was perfect, and it sat up nicely, and I just threw myself at it.
Is it purely instinctual, that sort of thing?
Yeah, I've got a habit of getting my body into awkward positions, and thankfully it worked out that time. But it was a real shit because I think it was lockdown that time.
Yeah,
so
no
fans in the stadium, so that was a bit disappointing. But the finish was it was
not bad.
Yeah, all right.
It speaks a lot that that's not the best goal you've ever scored as well, to be fair. Second one, a standout assist from your career, please.
It's got to be the one Dean Windass, Wembley final against Bristol City. He was on the plate. All I had to do is swing his leg. He gets the accolades for great finish, but I think it's the pass really. But no, that was probably the most important assist I've ever had throughout my career.
Yeah, I know they're a Yorkshire rival of ours, but you're loved there, aren't you? That's one of the clubs that
I'm loved everywhere.
Yeah, I know you're loved everywhere, but particularly Hull.
That was
spicy end to the first.
It was a love-hate relationship for a few years, but we got back to it at the end. I think, that was the first team I played for in England, regularly in the Championship, and obviously ended in massive success. The first time the club ever been in the Premier League, so part of their history, and I still go back occasionally to watch the games and stuff like that. So we had a great time there, and we love each other again.
That's good. And then the last ones, I don't know why we've done it in this order. Maybe we'll mix it up next time. Well, I'll end on a negative now, Fraizer. Do you have a notable card or foul from your career that springs to mind at all?
I've been sent off once in my career, and that was against Sweden, under-21s, England under-21s, semi-final. We were 3-0 up. I think I might have came on maybe 3-1, or it might be 3-0 to us. And then the ref started throwing the game. I lose my head quite easy. I came on maybe 78th minute, and I got 2 yellows and got sent off. We ended up winning the game on pens, but I missed the final.
Yeah, it's a stinker. Did we win the final, lose the final?
We got absolutely battered by Germany. Ozil, Khedira, all them guys.
Never heard of them.
Yeah, they didn't go on to do much.
All of these obviously make up a bet builder, but for the best Huddersfield Town bet builder odds, please visit sbk.com. 18 plus, please gamble responsibly. We'll get back to Matthew Burton now. While we've got you, Mr. Burton, while you're telling us off, we wanted you to put us through his paces a little bit and test myself and Fraizer on what we might be like as teachers. I know there's certain criteria, certain questions you ask people, see how fitting they'd be. I don't think either of us were the greatest students of all time.
Speak yourself.
But is there anything that you'd go to and ask to see how capable somebody would be?
Right, yes. So, Fraizer, I'll go for you first, okay? So you're a PE teacher.
Yes, sir.
And somebody's not brought the kit and is refusing to borrow kit. How do you deal with that? You've got rest of your class, want to go out and...
Right, okay. Probably start the session and pull him to the side. Then probably ring you, tell you to come out. Right. If you're not too busy on TV, I'll get you in to sort them out. I don't know. I don't know what I'd do. Try and reason them, try and find out why they don't want to wear the spare kit. Tell them why it's important to do sport.
Yeah.
the why's important, isn't it? Like the reasons are really important. I think in anything, like
Don't give him any answers. He's not answered the question yet.
Okay, right, fair play. Okay.
right. You are.
I'm taking like do it in your pants into thing anymore, is it? That's when we were at school.
Whoa.
No.
Never doing that.
No, I feel like we've evolved from.
You're getting the police.
Yeah.
Called.
We used to do weirdly. I'm sure I've got this weird memory of when I was in primary school. We used to do country dancing.
Yeah, dancing around the Maypole.
They did line dancing as well.
Line
Christmas.
dance?
Yeah.
Like, them offenders.
Boys and girls.
We did ballroom dancing at Christmas. It was a big thing because you'd have to know who you're getting paired up with.
Oh, really? Secondary school?
Yeah, in secondary schools.
Really? Ballroom dancing at secondary school? Really?
Yeah,
It's like a stage school.
No. Just put a tape on and everyone would do a little square step and everything together.
That sounds horrific.
They are awful.
Oh, goodness. That's
Awful.
Right, your scenario is this. So,
Difficult.
you are a student manager or a head of year,
Okay.
and
I'll do better than you.
you notice that.
He got instant promotion.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. You notice that attendance in your year group drops the Monday after town lose on a Saturday. It's a school in Huddersfield.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that?
God. Take a sample size of some of the guys guys or girls that aren't there, ask them what's going on. If there's any reason, if there seems to be an underlying shared season card holder demographic amongst them, then sharing their pain. But I'm not sure what you do at that point. Are they bunking off together? Are they?
You should.
How emotionally tied are they to the football club? Contact parents. I'm not sure. How do you?
I think that's really important. Like you talked about having a conversation with them, trying to find out the reasons, and then contacting parents and working with parents and carers is crucial, isn't it?
He just copied my answer.
He did, and to be fair, I gave you half an answer before.
Andy didn't call you his boss.
No, but if you can come to me with the answers, I'd appreciate that. So I think you've both done very well.
Yes, we're in.
Sadly, we don't have any vacancies in either of those positions at the moment.
But for you, is part of your job now as head compared to when you were just a teacher, or not just a teacher, but a teacher previously? Is it more looking after the teachers rather than the students, or what's the difference? Because I think a lot of kids at school, even now, don't really know what a teacher does.
A massive part of my job, I don't want it to sound sort of like it's underplaying it, but part of the role of a head teacher is to be the gatekeeper, I suppose, of the values, the expectations. So I talk about be nice, work hard all the time, and I make no apology for that. I make no apology for the fact it's on the walls, because that has to be the way that we do things. And my interventions and my work is, I'm very present. I'm around classrooms, around corridors. I'll be, duties, and every transition point I'm out and about and doing that. We've got really clear ways that we do things. But it's to make sure that we're looking after students, and their safeguarding and welfare is absolutely tip top, and then the quality of their education is intermingled with the values and how the school operates. Effectively, my job is to make sure that the ABC, the attendance, behaviour and the curriculum are all sort of working intertwined, because if they're not in school, if they're not attending, then there's not a great deal we can do with young people, and that's really challenging. Behaviour and culture and how things happen within the classrooms and the corridors, that's hugely important for staff and for students, because teachers need to be able to teach, students need to be able to learn. So we're really, really proud of how that works at Thornhill, and that's, we walk around the school, senior leaders, myself, student managers, the pastoral team, we're around every lesson, making sure that students are learning, teachers are teaching. And that's not to go in and sort of tell people off or anything like that. That's about just, I call it sort of taking the temperature. It's making sure that things are all right, and where we might have a cover teacher in who, do they know the way that the lesson works? Are they able to get onto the internet? Or all those sorts of things that really matter. And then the curriculum is really important as well, and all those things really drive a couple of outcomes. And my job ultimately is those couple of outcomes. It's the young people who leave at the top and bottom gates, with those signed shirts at the end of year 11, hopefully with a smile on their face, as good people who are going off into the community to make a positive impact. And also, then they go off for a couple of months and they come back to pick up a brown envelope, and we've all been there when we've sort of opened that GCSE.
Talk about money.
No.
No.
Been in football too long.
Change the topic.
No, they're opening that. This is a brown envelope of GCSEs and making sure that that's really good as well, because the two will work for their future almost. They're both equally as important, aren't they? The person, but also the qualifications, and our job's to make sure that they get those by the end of the year. Also, my job's to make sure that school days are not the best days of your life, because we want them to look forward to a more positive future. And it's a choppy world. It's a difficult world for young people to live in at the minute, or anybody to live in at the minute. And there's a lot of division, a lot of challenges for people to go through, and it's hard. So we want to bring a bit of joy and happiness, and school to be a place where they feel like they really belong. So my job's all about that. So it keeps us busy.
Oh yeah, I was going to say, I'm listening to that. I watch football for a living. It makes me feel a bit like my job's silly to compared. But
no, absolutely not. And it's really important. And I think that one of the things that football clubs do so well, and it's often because of tradition and family and sometimes obligation. It feels like it when you're dragging yourself here and you're bottom of the league and whatever else. All the negative factors that sometimes are there. But I think people, more often than not, fans feel a real sense of belonging. And then when things don't go quite so well, that's probably why you feel so down about it. But I remember, when we got promoted at Wembley, when Steve Simonson put his penalty into orbit in 2012, the scenes in that pub down the road were just incredible. It was absolutely unbelievable. And you fast forward 5 years later when we went up to the Prem, and it was a bit quieter in the very same pub. I think it was just a sense of, oh my goodness, like, crikey.
Disbelief.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, it was mad. But that having a football club to align yourself to and to feel like you belong at is hugely important, and that it really matters to people.
how much of that bleeds into a player's life as well? Because we do so much in the community. I know I've worked with you when you've been here in the past. At other clubs, I'm sure it's the same way, where you've been at United and Palace and stuff. Is that something that you take into account of how much of a role you can play in other people's lives?
Yeah, you have to. You have to be conscious of the community and stuff. And it's a lot easier, like for me, for example, when I was at town, I know what the community is, I know the people in it, so I know what it means to them. So I think you have to be mindful as a professional that, you're here. People might have had a terrible week at work. The only bit of joy potentially is from you on a Saturday. And if you don't show up, then they've got to be upset about it. So I think it's for the English lads. I think it's a lot easier to understand that and feel more part of the community. But it doesn't always go to plan, does it? It's something you go out there and give it your best. Sometimes it's not good enough. But yeah, I think you have to own that sometimes and just have a bit of sympathy for the working man that's going there to try and enjoy themselves.
And actually, if it does all, because there are games where you feel like everybody comes in really confident and then it just falls apart like that.
Yeah.
Can it feel like everything's perfect until you go out, and then how quickly do you get a sense that it's just not going to go your way?
So I would know within the first 3 minutes whether it's going to be a good day for me or a bad. Well, probably if there's 3 minutes of the warm up. So I might, like I said, wake up, loads of energy. My breakfast goes down. It tastes extra sweet that morning.
Mm.
My orange juice is perfect. You can smell the vitamin C in it. And then you get on the pitch, and then my first touch is off. I'm thinking, what has gone on here? So then you might be panicking internally or whatever. But you can be the opposite of that. You can wake up, feel terrible, not have an appetite, thinking I need to eat it because I'm going to be struggling otherwise, and everything just feels terrible. Then you get into the game and you're firing and you're cooking on gas. It's like, what? There's no way of gauging it until you're actually in the game. How are you going? So you've got to try and do. That's why so many players, I think, are superstitious. They try and eliminate all the different options of stuff so that they can feel the same way every time. But it's impossible. It's only human at the end of the day.
Right.
Your body changes. You feel a certain way, but yeah, deal with it.
It's interesting. How much of an overlap is there with, what Fraser's talking about, his own performance getting right in the mind, with kids trying to do that at school as well? I remember when we did our year 6 SATs, they made us have a banana first, and then we'd do exercise and stretches and stuff, and putting your arms out wide and try to point them at your nose to get everything. It was mad.
Just checking you not drunk.
I don't know.
Just for your ballroom dancer.
Yeah, it was primary school, not. But all that sort of stuff, does it actually feed and play? Is it similar sort of principles?
Oh, there are. I mean, there are clear similarities. There's two sides to it. I think that there is that really important side that the foundation do loads of work around breakfast clubs and stuff. We've got a Huddersfield Town Breakfast Club, and it is absolutely wonderful because kids will come in and they'll just sit there and have a chat with their mates. They might do a bit of homework. They'll get some breakfast and sit there, and they'll have some positive interactions before the day starts. And it's almost that settler. And there are students, of course, that every school has to look out for in the morning to make sure that you have that positive conversation. You make sure they've had something to eat, they've had a drink, and those things are hugely important in how the day goes. There are those who come in with that extra baggage and those issues that have happened at home as well. So that's sometimes about just being aware of that before you can start the day, really. But what you tend to do is just affect the things you can affect. So if somebody's feeling a particular way a particular day, you validate that feeling. It's all right to feel that way. You're a child. You're allowed to not be at 100% every single day. It's unrealistic to expect that. Let's have a conversation. Let's get you back on an even keel. Let's get you the support you need, and we're going to get you back in lesson. Because we do loads of stuff around well-being support, but it shouldn't and never can be at the detriment of being in lessons and learning the stuff you need to learn. So there are of course, young people have crises and it's really, really challenging for them. But schools need to be there with the support and the help and the resources to be able to help them battle through those situations, and then give them the tools so that they can catch up nice and quickly if they've been out of lessons. So there are similarities. That preparation breeds confidence, doesn't it? And then when you've got one good day under your belt, you get another good day under your belt, and you start thinking, I can do this. And I suppose that's like you're going on that run of feeling like, right, we're never going to lose.
Yeah, with a few games, you walking into the game, I was almost thinking, Matt won this one before I even kicked the ball. You're right, yeah.
But then there's every so often there's a surprise, isn't there, and something can go wrong. But young people, they are vulnerable to those things happening. Some are exceptionally resilient. Some young people, just like adults, they can have a negative interaction, and then that ruins their entire day. But then it's about those conversations, the relationships, falling back on that and going back to the basics about the things that we need to focus on and really do good work around. So I think there are real similarities there.
Fraizer, your kids are older than mine, so mine haven't reached school age yet, but hearing the way that Mr. Burton speaks about being a teacher, looking after kids, that give you a heart of how your kids have been looked after in those hours where they're not at home, they're at school, they're doing all sorts.
Well, yeah, they spend a lot of time every day, in the care of teachers, so you've got to have, that they've got the best interests at heart. And like my kids' school is a small school, so all the teachers know all the kids' names, and all the kids know each other's names from different years, so it's like a little community, so you know how they're getting on. It might not be from them telling you, because they very rarely tell us the best thing. You might hear it from one of the friends' parents or blah blah blah, how they're getting on. So but yeah, I think it is good to hear teachers being so passionate about. Like I've got 3 kids and they're all different and they all learn differently, but each teacher they've had has been able to find a way to help them learn best, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's because I think if you have a script that you'll try and stick to, it's impossible, and you'll know better than the rest, that you've got to try and modify it for each individual kids, and some teachers are brilliant at doing that. And we saw the clip from years ago that you did with the guy that had a stammer.
I must have.
Yeah,
bless him.
And he had the music, the headphones to help him. Obviously, he did a lot more stuff with him, but it was just little things like that make a massive difference to the kids' learning journey. So like you say, when you leave, you think, if I had a great time at school, well, I'm set to have an even better time.
And that's the thing, it needs to oil the wheels of the rest of their lives, and that's what schools should be about. And I think you'll never, ever, ever find a teacher who doesn't want young people to succeed. They want to do it. Sometimes it feels like there are moments in an education where you feel like the teacher wants it more than the child, but then that's about that passion and determination and all that sort of stuff. And people talk about inspiration in teaching, and without sounding like David Brent, I don't think, inspiration is not those moments of magic. They don't come from that. It comes from just persistent, dogged determination and just relentless routines and expectations, and I'm not going to give up on you because you deserve the best. And for young people, particularly the most disadvantaged in our communities, they need that, and they need it in spades. And I've yet to find a teacher who doesn't want the best for every child that they teach. And when I say teacher, I don't just mean teachers. I mean anybody who works in a school. You don't go into working in schools for a really easy, simplistic life. You know full well it's going to be complex, and perhaps you're Your to-do list at the end of the day will look very, very different to what it did at the beginning of the day, probably longer. You might get a couple of things chalked off, but you get a couple of things added to the end of it. But the amazing thing about working in schools and working with young people is that it is really unique, and it brings a sense that no 2 days are ever exactly the same. You might have similarities, but what you can do every day is do something and have a conversation or an interaction that genuinely positively shapes a child's life, and that there's not that many opportunities. I suppose there is a similarity in football, because 11 town players on a Saturday can knock my mood up by about 100%. But equally, interaction at work can really help.
Yeah. So you have to put it on a scale. Town get promoted, or a kid that's been struggling with something maybe at home, and you cure that. And they get a successful job.
The child who then joins the academy and scores the winning goal in the FA Cup final, or gets us promoted to the Premier League.
They're all highs, aren't they? It's good to see that you've been in teaching for so long, and you still can see that you're still passionate about it. It still excites you, and that's what you need from school teachers and people looking after kids, especially.
Yeah, it matters. We know the job matters, and that is that's something you can never lose sight of, because I had brilliant teachers, amazing teachers who I was so fortunate, and every single person will remember a handful of those teachers who just did that thing at that point that just shaped things in a ever so slightly direction. I know the teacher that I am, I still teach, is shaped by 3 or 4 particular teachers who were just amazing. Mr. Milfull, Mrs. Rosenberg, Mr. Ancliffe, who just sort of taught by osmosis almost. He was a Sheffield Wednesday fan. He just used to natter on about Sheffield Wednesday, it felt like. But then we came out, all of us used to come out with just brilliant GCSEs. And then my English teacher, who didn't take a single prisoner, she was very sort of straight down the line, Mrs. Bannister. She's just absolutely phenomenal. But just really showed how much it mattered.
How did you do at school?
All right, I can't remember exactly. What did I get? GCSE? 2 A stars, 3 A's and 4 B's or something like that.
Really well then.
Yeah, and then did A levels and then went off to uni and all the rest of it, and then you have to, teaching. You need a degree for teachers. I went off and did uni and all that, and I didn't really know what I was going to do until the last year, when you start having conversations about what you're going to do with your career, and then just applied for the teacher training course, and after a year I got onto that, and then went from there really.
Cool.
Are there any teachers that you remember from school that helped you, Fraizer Campbell?
No, I had a science teacher called Mr. Boychuk, he was, and his mind was wacky and wild, and the experiments we used to do in the science was, just like, got us excited, like, I wonder what we're doing this week, or, do you know what I mean? So it was great. A few teachers, and a Mr. Croft PE teacher, he didn't like me at all. But it's because I wasn't applying myself. He knew obviously I was good at sport, but I was saving myself for my training sessions and stuff like that. So me and him clashed. But at the end, we got on really well. A Spanish teacher, I'm not really a linguist. I'm more of a numbers person. But I got a C in my GCSE Spanish, and I couldn't believe it, because down to the third teacher style. So you remember a lot of your teachers, don't you, for good and bad reasons. But I think the bad reasons as a child, it's not that they were bad teachers. It's just they're making me do stuff I don't want to do. Or, do you know what I mean? Like,
what was the schedule like around? That must have been exhausting at secondary level when you're going back and forth to Manchester all the time.
So I'd be training 3 times a week, and then a game on Saturday or Sunday. So 4 times a week over there. And as I got to like 13, 14, I used to do. I'd have Mondays off school, and in the morning I'd do schoolwork, and in the afternoon I'd train. So I'd finish school Friday, I'd get taken over to Manchester, stay in digs on the Saturday, train or play, then Sunday train or play, stay over, and then train school in the morning, train in the afternoon, come back Monday night.
It's a lot of responsibility for a young person, that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a big commitment, and at the time, as a child, you just go in here and ever, you don't really think about it. But now I've got 3 kids of my own, and my son's, he's playing football, my daughters are both playing football, so 3 times a week I'm taking him somewhere. I'm driving to Wolves, I'm driving to Newcastle, I'm going to Liverpool on a Sunday. I was thinking, when's my time to do stuff like that? I thought I'd retire. we'd just be chilling out.
Yeah.
I thought we had a beach once a month or something like that. But now I'm an Uber driver basically, just driving my kids around. But I wouldn't have it any other way. I love it.
Yeah, and I'm the same. I sort of ferrying Theo back and forth to various trainings and all the rest of it, and it's the same. Like occasionally I'll have a whinge about it, but I love it because seeing him enjoying himself and doing that's wonderful, isn't it? If you want the time on a beach, maybe inspire him with a love of Spanish, and then pitch for a Madrid, Barca.
Well, he's already talked about Real Madrid, so hopefully if he keeps improving, we'll get there. I'll volunteer and take him over there. Don't mind taking him. I'll take him training 5 times a week.
He's only one up to you by making it in Town Academy anyway. So
he's already doing better than I did. So
what could you do in Spanish? Could you like order a sandwich and
drive Uber?
Where is the post office? It's on the left down the street.
My name is Fraizer and I don't like grapefruits or something like that.
Yes, something really, really useful. That's what I see.
It's come up a couple of times today, but the be nice, work hard mentality that you've got and runs through the show as well. Something we wanted to join in. So Fraizer, if you wouldn't mind doing the honours and passing this over to Mr. Burton. This is a token of our appreciation for joining us on the show.
Oh man,
of being here. You can either wear that to games, put it up at school, do what you like. But
I'll get that up in school. Thank you so much. That's so kind. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you. This is an absolute honour. Absolute honour to be here. Thank you. All the time.